Hello, it's been a while. I do apologize. My job has been kicking my ass for the last couple of weeks. I had 3 days off the first week of May, or the last week of June, last week of April, first week of May, sorry. But last week I worked 40 hours, this week I'm working 40 hours, and next week I'm working 40 hours. And before that I had worked 39, 38, and 39 again. So I've just been very busy. However, I do want to get back into it. So we're going to be doing some simple videos for the next couple of weeks until my schedule gets like back to normal, or what it was before, where I'm working like 35-ish. So we're going to start with all the books that I am reading and have finished for the year. This is a video that most people do in June, I believe. It's like a whole like mid-year tag, I think. I'm not going to do that because I've only finished 9 books this year and I'm currently reading 4. I don't really think that there's going to be much of a difference between now and then anyway, and I don't think that I've read enough books to be able to do that tag either. We're going to start off with the 2 books that I am passively reading, because I have 2 that I'm passively reading, 2 that I'm actively reading, and then 9 that I've finished. So we're going to start with the 2 that I'm passively reading. The first one is going to be Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. I started this several years ago, got to page 125, and then put it down, and it's kind of the same thing that's happened this time. However, I'm randomly picking up pages and when I want to read, but I don't really have anything to read. And this one is about a prince who gets struck with this illness or this curse or whatever it is, and gets sent to this cursed city of Elantris, and where nobody dies and nobody heals. And then it's about his widow coming into his kingdom and trying to do something. I'm not really sure. I haven't gotten very far into it. So, but it is interesting. It's Brandon Sanderson's first published novel, and I do want to start kind of reading through his books, so I started with this one. The second book I am passively reading is TMNT, the IDW collection. This is volume 1. I've been passively reading this for a couple of months. Honestly, longer than that. I'll randomly pick up pages and just read. Like, I'm on page 159 right now. I don't think I added it to my Goodreads, but I'm on page 159 right now. I don't really know what to tell you about this one. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you know what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is, this is the run that was from 2012 to last year. There's a new one coming out starting this year, but I have not gotten to that yet. So I haven't read the originals, but I'm reading this one. Thank you for getting me the third one, because I know you're watching. And then the 2 that I'm actively reading, we'll start with this one, is going to be The Ogress and the Orphans by Kelly Barnhill. This is a book about an ogress and some orphans, obviously. So the ogress lives outside of a town called Stone in the Glen, and Stone in the Glen used to be a very friendly, very upbeat, very happy city until they got a new mayor, and everything kind of went downhill, but everybody adores this mayor. She lives outside of this town, and everyone knows that she's there, but they're kind of avoiding her. She makes baked goods and other things, and makes vegetables, or grows vegetables, and takes them to the people of Stone in the Glen because they are suffering. She sees that they are suffering, and she is trying to help in her own secret kind of ways. The orphans are from the orphan house, and they are being neglected by this town. Them and their matron and patron Myron are being neglected by this town, even though they are supposed to be protecting them and taking care of them. Everything kind of went to pot when the library burned, but I really do enjoy this one. I'm on page, where am I? 279, so I'm almost done with this. I could probably get done with this in the next couple of days. The other book that I am actively reading is going to be Guard in the Garden by Z.S. Diamante. This is a indie novel. It's a cozy fantasy. It is about this big dwarf here. His name is Felton. He was part of like a guard. I can't remember what they're called. He gets injured and cannot do it anymore, and it is basically about recovery and being a vet and having to get used to a new normal when you don't want to accept that it is your new normal, and still trying to find purpose and what you're doing and things like that. I like him as a character. I will say you can definitely tell this is an indie novel. The writing definitely is a lot to be desired. It's incredibly repetitive, but if you go into it without being too nitpicky, the plot itself is very good, and I do really enjoy the characters that I've met so far. Those are all the books that I am actively or currently reading right now, so we're going to go on to the ones that I have completed. The first book I finished this year is A Fig for All the Devils by C.S. Fritz. This is a debut novel from a couple of years ago by C.S. Fritz. It's a horror story about a Death who would like to not be Death anymore, and Sunny who wants to die, and it's about grief and new beginnings and friendship, and it's good. I liked it. It comes with a playlist also if you want to read it and listen to the playlist as well. It's like atmospheric music. I did not enjoy that. It's a little bit too repetitive for me. The music was a little too repetitive for me, but it fits the tone of this. That's just a me thing. It fits the tone of this. I don't listen to a lot of music. But anyway, it's quite good. I liked Sunny. There are some trigger warnings, obviously, for things like suicide, self-harm, attempted SA, and some other things. But I do quite like it. I think it was well written. I like the lyricalness of it, and I really enjoyed Death in this. He's really dorky, and I think that that's great. My favorite versions of Death are the ones that are kind of weird. The next book I read is going to be A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. This is the second novella in the Monk and Robot series. This, I don't know, I can't really say a whole lot because this is the second book, but A Prayer for the Crown Shy is just as well written as A Psalm for the Wild Built. I would say that the relationship between the two main characters is quite cute in this novel. You can tell that they've become really good friends. Sibling Dex and Mosscap are really sweet together, and you can kind of tell that they're developing a very deep friendship throughout. I mean, you can tell that throughout Psalm for the Wild Built, but you can definitely see it in this one, and the way that Mosscap understands or tries to understand Dex, and the way that Dex tries to explain and create space for Mosscap, and I think that that's really sweet. It is incredibly short. You could finish both of these books probably in a couple of days, and I would recommend these genuinely. They're very fun. They're a little bit deeper than some of the other things, especially because the first book, or really the series as a whole, is about understanding what humans need and how to achieve that, and it's quite good. I really enjoyed this. The next book I read is going to be a reread, and it was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I've read this book 2 times, 3 times, one of those, I don't remember. This is one of my favorite books. When I want a cozy fantasy, this is literally, it's literally like this vibe. That's what I want. Bookshops and Bone Dust is a sequel to this one, or a prequel to this one, and then there's going to be a sequel at the end of the year, and I'm really excited about that. I need more books that actually have this vibe, please. Can't Spell Treason Without Tea does not have this vibe. It doesn't. I keep seeing people saying that it does. It does not. It definitely does not. I want this. I want this, but different. I also read some books that I don't own, so I'm gonna go over those 2 or 3 really quickly. I started The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. I got a little over halfway through, and I did end up DNFing it. I've DNF'd several books this year, but if I haven't gotten more than 30% of the way through, I'm not including it at all. This one I got about halfway through before I DNF'd. And I really liked the magic system in this. So basically, this is a world where everyone is set up into castes based on birds, and each bird class has its own type of magic, and you are more or less powerful depending on how common your magic is. And the way that the crows work is they don't have magic of their own, but if you give them the teeth of other people, they can call on the magic that person had through their teeth and use it. They are the doctor, what are they called? The plague doctors of the world. They're the only ones that are immune to the plague, and it's very interesting. I really liked the way that the world was set up, and I really, really liked the way the magic system was set up. I don't like the romance in this at all. I found it very, like, unnecessary, which I find for most romance in fantasies. This one especially, though, it just was not needed at all. Once the romance became a focal point, once the romance became a focal point, I dropped it, because I don't care. I just don't care. I genuinely think that it kind of ruins the rest of the plot, because why are we worried about this right now? The second book that I read that I don't own is The Wood at Midwinter by Susanna Clarke. I read this at the bookstore. It's extremely short. It's just really pretty. It's about, I don't even remember what it's about, if I'm being honest. It was really pretty. And then the last one that I don't own that I read was The Halfling's Harvest by S.L. Rowland. This was an ARC. If you want my full thoughts on this, I did make a video on it. It is fine. That's all I'm gonna say. It was fine. Next book I read is The Hardy Boys: The Secret of Wildcat Swamp by Franklin W. Dixon. I got this as a blind date with a book, same as this one, but I got this from a different store. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed that this is what it was. I did read it because of a failed video that I had started. But this is not appealing to today's audience at all. The way it's written is not appealing to today's audience. What it's about isn't appealing to today's audience. The language is kind of just not there, and it's supposed to be for middle grade, so like 9 to 12-year-olds, and this reads like it was more written for younger audiences to be read to, like, not for them to read it themselves. I don't know. Was not a fan. I don't even know if I rated this one. I'm not a Hardy Boys fan. I will probably never be reading another Hardy Boys book. Sorry. And then finally, the most recent thing that I have finished is volumes 1 and 2 of She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat by Sakaomi Yuzaki. I immediately ordered the next 2 volumes from the store because I loved this. They're both single. This is Nomoto, this is Kusagi. And they're both single, they both live alone. She loves cooking, she loves making like fantasy video game sized portions, but she doesn't eat enough to be able to actually make that food. And then you have Kusagi, who eats a lot. She eats like a mountain, and they start eating dinner together because hobbies and also free food, except it ends up not being free because Kusagi-san does end up paying for it. But they start to kind of develop a crush on each other throughout their dinners together, and they start hanging out together, and it's just really, really cute. It is really, really cute. I really, really like it. I believe it's on hiatus right now. There's 5 volumes in total out in Japan, and there's 4 volumes in total out in the US. I bought the next 2, and I will be reading them soon. I gave both of these 5 stars. I really love the characters. I think the art style is really cute, and I love the food. If you are looking for a lesbian Yuri slice of life romance, pick this up. It's adorable. I really, really enjoyed it. That is everything. I'm actually quite proud of the amount of books that I have finished this year, and the fact that aside from like 2, I've genuinely really, really enjoyed the majority of these. I think 2 of them I didn't like very much, and then 1 of them was okay, but like still. And then for the books that I'm currently reading, I think the fact that I'm trying to read them slower and just let myself sit and read when I want to versus trying to be like, I want to hit a goal, I need to read, is making me enjoy the books themselves more. So I'm quite happy with what I have accomplished in my reading this year so far. And I do think that a goal of 15 was a good idea for me. So that's all I have today. What books have you read? I do want to know. And if you've read any of these, please let me know as well, because I would love to hear about it and hear your thoughts. And if you didn't like them, that's fine. I did. But yeah, I will see you all next week. Next week's video is going to be a video game. So hopefully that works out now that I've said it out loud. Watch, it's not even going to be a video game. I'm going to mess up that video so badly, and it's just going to have to be something completely different. Just wait. Anyway, I will see you all later. Have a good afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on when you're watching this. And bye.